Hi guys, welcome to my channel and my first ever YouTube video. So I wanted to speak to you today about menstruation and in particular menstruation hygiene. As it's menstruation hygiene day today, I thought it would be the best time to start this channel and speak to you about one of my favourite topics, which is periods. So just starting off and talking about different methods that I use when I'm on my period, going back historically to when I first started. I started out using tampons and pads. Well, pads mainly, that was what I first started with. Tampons I didn't get on so well with in the beginning. I found it really difficult to put the tampons in and out. And whenever I put them in, they were really uncomfortable. I felt a lot of pressure and I used to kind of leak with them, I guess, as well. So I remember speaking to one of my friends about it and she was like, oh, maybe you're not inserting them correctly, let me put it in for you, which is a crazy story. But that was the first time I ever used a tampon successfully. A friend of mine actually helped me insert it, so helped me just sort of show me how to cock your leg up and how to position your cervix and pushing the tampon backwards rather than just upwards, which is what I was doing because I was totally clueless. So I wasn't a huge fan of tampons. I still found them quite uncomfortable, and sometimes with taking them out as well, that'd be quite difficult. So mainly stuck to pads. I've used various different pads over the years, various different brands. I would say that my favourite is probably Bodyform. I find them in terms of the fabric the most comfortable because some other pads can be quite sticky, they can be quite sweaty. Generally though, I think I do find pads quite uncomfortable. I don't feel as clean when I'm using a pad, especially if I'm out and about at work and I can't freshen up, as I would do at home. So I would say that pads are probably my go-to if nothing else was available, but I definitely prefer other methods. So what I've recently been using is a menstrual cup. Now this is the Lunette 2 cup. So I just want to show you the cup here. It comes in this little bag, which is great. Really enjoy using this cup. What you do when you first get the cup, you want to sterilize it. So you'd wash it out using anything that you generally use to wash your vagina. So I only use water. I'm very sensitive down there, but some people might use Femme Fresh and different other feminine hygiene products. So anything you use on your vagina to clean your vagina, you can use it to clean your cup. And then you want to pop it into a saucepan or a bowl with boiling water and sterilize it. I have a specific saucepan that I use for boiling and sterilizing my menstrual cup. So this is the only thing that it gets used for, and it literally sits in the cupboard under my sink. One of the first things that I would say that you need to do if you're going to try a menstrual cup for the first time is measure your cervix. Now, I only learned about measuring my cervix about 6 months ago. Obviously, I've always known I had a cervix, but I didn't know that your cervix moved up and down within your vagina. And I didn't know that, everybody's cervix sits within a different place within their vagina, so how far up it sits. So if you want to measure your cervix, really simple. All you need to do is put your fingers into your vagina canal. So just showing you my finger here, you've got, let's say, 3 knuckles on your finger, this being the first one here, this being the middle one, and the end one here. So if you insert your finger into your vagina and you feel your cervix at this point, so you've got this much of your finger left outside, you've got quite a low cervix. If you're somewhere in the middle here, you've got an okay size cervix for a cup. And then if you're a little bit longer, then you've got quite a high cervix, and you can use most menstrual cups that are available. And just in comparison to show you, so if this was the inside of my vagina, this would be a decent size for a cup, or just about a decent size, but this part, the tail end, would be hanging out of my vagina. You don't want this hanging out too much because it will be quite uncomfortable and you can feel it. So you want it to sit somewhere around here on your vagina. You can cut this off at the end, so if you don't want this little tail, you can cut it off, but this can be really useful for getting the cup out. So the cup does ride up inside your vagina sometimes when you're wearing it, and this can be quite useful just to help pull it down. So when you want to put the cup inside, just to give you a quick tip, there are various different folds and methods that you can use. I like the punch down fold. So you literally put your finger over one of these holes on the top of the menstrual cup, you punch it down and then you push the sides, and then it creates this little fold, and then you can easily enter the cup into your vagina like that. And when you do, it pops open like that inside, and it creates a suction inside your vagina. So once it's in there and it's open properly, it won't move, and the suction will create a seal inside, so you won't have any leaks and things like that. And then you can always test it just by tugging. Once you tug on this, it won't move. If it isn't open correctly inside your vagina, you can just lightly push your finger around it inside until you feel it pop open, and you will slightly feel it pop open. You'll know when it's secure because it won't move. So that's how you put it in. To get it out, you're going to need to break the seal. So you just literally want to put one finger or maybe two inside your vagina. You want to break the seal at the side like that, and then you want to kind of hoax it down out of your vagina. You can use the bottom of it as well if you want to start off by tugging on that and then putting your finger up and then breaking the seal, and then you slowly pull it down, comes out of your vagina like that. You empty the blood into the toilet, and then you can just rinse this off in the sink and then go ahead and put it straight back in if you need to after. So that's just some quick tips of how to put the menstrual cup in and how to take it out. This is the Lunette 2, as I mentioned, so this is my favourite cup that I like to use. It's really, really good for a heavy period, so I can literally sleep with this in all night. I use it during the day for about, I change it every 5 or so hours. If I'm really heavy, so day 1 and 2 of my period, sometimes I'll change it every 4 hours. But it's a really good one in terms of heavy flow. And just in terms of how your period is, so if you're gonna buy a menstrual cup, or if you're looking into menstrual cups, do some research. Think about your cervix and where your cervix sits. Think about your flow. So if you have like a light to medium flow, you might not necessarily need a bigger cup. You might want a smaller cup. If you have a heavier period, I would definitely recommend going for a bigger cup. Obviously, just bear in mind your cervix size as well. So yeah, I really like the menstrual cup. So that's the Lunette 2. The other option that I've been using at the moment is period panties. So a couple of brands that I've tried, and I've kept the packaging just to show you. So this is the first one. This is Modibodi panties. These are my favourite so far, and I've bought the hip huggers in a size 10 small on here. These are, so they're the Sensual high waist bikini hip huggers. They're heavy absorbency, so I literally can wear these all night. I wear them when I'm really heavy on my period, and you literally don't get any leaks. So just to show you, they have this special technology fabric inside. So you have your period, you bleed into these, and it literally absorbs the blood and it dries it a little bit as well, so you don't feel like you're sitting on a wet pad or anything like that. You don't feel wet. You can go to the toilet as you would normally, you know, finish your business, pull your panties up and literally go. I would recommend that if you're going to wear these, maybe have 2 for a day. If you're having a heavier period, if you're on a lighter day, maybe you could wear them all day, but I would recommend maybe having a couple for the day. But as I mentioned, I do wear these all night. Once you've finished, you literally just rinse these in the sink under cold water. So you just rinse them until they run clear, and you'll be surprised. You'll think loads of blood is going to come out of here. It really doesn't. So you rinse them under the tap, and then you literally put them in the washing machine as you would normally wash your clothes. Just don't use any fabric softener because it can interfere with the fabric that these have inside that make them work. So these are the Modibodi panties. The second ones that I have tried are the Thinx panties, so the She Thinx panties. I wanted to try these for quite some time. The reason why I hadn't initially tried these is because the shipping can be quite expensive, but then I found out they do stock these in Selfridges. So the first time I went, they were actually sold out, so I was like, oh. So I went back recently and they had them in stock, so I was like, great. So these ones are a little bit bigger than the Modibodi panties. These are a medium, so the Modibodis were a size 10 small. These are a medium. I did try on the small, so in Selfridges they do have some samples that you can try on, over your own knickers of course. But I tried these on in a small and they were really tight, and I thought I don't want them to be that tight, I want to be comfortable. They are a little bit looser, so maybe I should have went for the small, but I would definitely recommend these for days that you're maybe bloated and you want to be a little bit more comfortable. I would say that these are the bikini brief bottoms. I would say that these are more suitable for a lighter day. So the coverage on these only comes up to about this line of the panties. And then at the back, it goes up to about here. Whereas the Modi Body ones go literally from the top here all the way back. So that's why I like to sleep in those ones, because I feel most secure. I will definitely try some other styles and sizes of the She Thinks though. But these were pretty good, didn't have any problems with these. I was a bit concerned about them being grey. I was like, when I rinse them out, you know, is the blood going to be on there? But no issues with that at all, and they're so comfortable, so I would definitely recommend these as well. But for now, the Modi Body ones are definitely my favourite. Something else that I use are these. So these are Carefree panty liners. I like to use these on the last couple of days of my period, really. I would say that you can obviously use the knickers. I don't like to use a cup when I'm coming off of my period, just because I feel like it's a bit too much. It's not necessary to have a cup. So I like to use these. These are my favourite out of panty liners. I've tried lots of different brands over the years. These are my favourite because they are made from cotton and they don't feel sweaty or sticky. They're literally, they feel like wearing, you know, cotton knickers. So these are great. And sometimes I just literally wear black knickers, and I just will change my knickers if I'm on the last couple of days and it's literally just spotting, almost like discharge. So I'll just literally wear my knickers. But I do like these panty liners as well. So I hope you liked the video. Just a couple of pointers. If you are using tampons and they work for you, great. A couple of reasons why I would definitely recommend trying something different. If you're using tampons, I find sometimes, or I found with tampons, that I would feel a lot of pressure coming down at the top of my vagina when I'd use tampons, especially if I was having heavy period pains. Also, when you're using a tampon and you're sort of inserting and removing the tampon, some of the fabric that the tampon is made from does get left behind in the walls of your vagina. So I would definitely recommend that you try something else. And also, just to be ethical and help towards saving the planet, I definitely recommend you know, a method that is reusable, like a menstrual cup or period panties. Please like, comment, let me know if you have any questions below, and please subscribe as well. There's more to come for this channel. We all have periods. We're going to have a lot of periods in our lifetime, so we might as well make the most of it and see what other options are available.